Hi, welcome to Story Time. I have a fabulous little story that I found today that I can hardly wait to read you. Also from the book by Penina Schramm and Sheldon Oberman. It's a wonderful little book. I'd actually like to show it to you. It's called Solomon and the Ant and Other Jewish Folk Tales. It's a really good book. So this little story comes from it, and it's called The Smell of Money. There was a young woman named Hannah, not too well off. Hannah earned her money for her family by making brooms. She gathered long, stiff grass into a bundle and then tied the bundle into the end of a long stick to make a broom. She carried her brooms to the marketplace and stood there all day long, selling them to earn just a few coins. And at the end of the day, as she was walking home, she passed a bakery. Oh, she thought, maybe I could spend just one coin on something tasty. And then she decided, no, my family really needs the money. I'll just enjoy the smells on my way home. So Hannah stood outside the bakery door and smelled the fresh baked bread, the warm honey cake, and the smell of sweet almond cookies that always made her feel wonderful. Now the baker saw her at the door, and he grew a little suspicious. "What are you doing here?" he asked her. "I'm smelling your delicious breads and cakes," she answered. "It's almost as good for me as eating it." "Smelling my breads and cakes? You'll have to pay for that." And he tried to grab her sack of coins. "But I didn't eat anything," she cried. "I didn't eat them. I just smelled them." Everyone in the market came rushing when they heard her. Some said the baker should be paid. Others said the girl owed nothing. They argued more and more and more until someone shouted out, "Ask the king, let's ask the king. Let King Solomon decide." So they took Hannah and the baker to King Solomon, the wisest king of all. Solomon sat on his throne. "Speak," he said. "I will listen, and I will judge." The baker pointed his finger at Hannah and said, "That girl has to pay for what she took. I worked all day to make bread and cake and cookies. She stood at my door and smelled it all. It filled her with pleasure. She even admitted that it was practically as good as counting it. That it was practically as good as eating it." "I should not have to pay," said Hannah. "The smell of the food was floating in the air. I only breathed the air. Do I have to pay to breathe?" "Baker," said Solomon, "do you care so much about money that you want to be paid even for the very air around you?" The baker answered, "Law says that you must pay if you take something that someone makes. She took the smells of the food that I made, so she must pay." "That is the law," said Solomon. "Yes, the young woman must pay for what she took." Now everyone in the crowd looked at each other in surprise. "Young woman," said King Solomon, "take out your money." A little shaky, she did. "Now shake the coins together in your hands." She shook them once, twice, 3 times. "Did you hear that? Did you hear that?" said Solomon to the baker. Now she has paid you." "What do you mean?" the baker asked. "She has paid you for the smell of your breads and cakes with the sound of her money." Hannah shook the coins again and again and again, and everybody else just shook and shook and shook with laughter at the wisdom of King Solomon. Thanks a whole bunch for listening today.